This man was born with a crippled left leg, yet every day he used sheer willpower to climb the 100-foot gorge of Mount Hua, practicing the basic fist technique 10,000 times daily. But now due to a match he has been rendered completely disabled. Severely injured, Tan Hao was brought back to Master Xian Su by the disciples. At this moment Tan Hao's meridians were shattered, and his bones were completely broken. He might never be able to take care of himself again. For the first time the usually kind and gentle Master Xian Su was furious. He angrily barged into Master Xian Jian's hall, demanding why a selection among disciples could lead to such excessive brutality. Master Xian Jian scoffed coldly. He said abandoning martial arts was for Tan Hao's own good. Mount Hua's martial arts aren't so simple that even a cripple could master them. Utter nonsense. My disciple is a member of Mount Hua. What crime is there in his desire to practice martial arts? You dismiss all his efforts just because of one crippled leg? He then turned to the sect leader. Speak a fair word for my disciple. But the sect leader's words shattered his hope. Taking in that child 5 years ago was my mistake. The day he woke up, I saw hatred and killing intent in his eyes. Those are not the eyes of a child. If he masters martial arts, disaster is inevitable. Master Xian Su stormed out in anger. You two old fools, just you wait and see. I'll show you what a grave mistake you've made. My disciple will prove to you all what it means to defy destiny. Rest assured my disciple, though ordinary people might never walk again after such injuries, as long as I am here, I will make sure you stand again. The rugged terrain of Sangong Mountain discouraged most people. But Master Xian Su, who had never trained in martial arts, risked his life climbing it every day to find the legendary healing herbs. Under his master's meticulous care, Tan Hao finally regained consciousness. Who could have guessed that the often overlooked Master Xian Su was an expert in alchemy? Tan Hao looked at his master's scarred hands, and realized they were from tirelessly searching for herbs across Mount Hua. The iron-willed man shed tears. 5 years of grueling training and ridicule. Even after being crippled he never shed a tear. Master, rest assured I will not let you down. Tan Hao consumed numerous spirit pills. He used the heavy heart technique to aid in absorption. Time passed in a blur. Tan Hao's body was fully healed. But his master declared that a custom martial art was necessary. Mount Hua's martial arts are not suitable for you. We must create a technique uniquely yours. The most important part is your footwork. Your steps don't need to be flashy. Just fast enough. With speed your strength will grow. Your footwork must be like a battering ram, supported by your sturdy leg. All your power focused with incredible speed. I have named this step technique, Charge Step. Born with a crippled left leg, he vowed to become a martial arts master. Now his master decided to teach him a long-lost technique. Sky Cripple Kick. The Sky Cripple Kick was an exclusive technique from the Iron Blood Tyrant 120 years ago. A single kick could dye the sky red with blood. Its power was savage and overwhelming. Starting today, you will leap 2 jong in distance with the Sky Cripple Kick, and crush rocks with your fists. For Tan Hao with his crippled left leg, this was an enormous challenge. On his first attempt he leapt only half a jong, and couldn't maintain his balance upon landing. Yet his determination only grew stronger. Day after day he leapt toward the rocks. Even just maintaining balance, and perfecting straight line jumps took him a whole month. From then on his leaps grew longer. To leap several jong with his crippled leg, Tan Hao endured unimaginable pain. His leg felt like it was being torn apart. His muscles felt like they were ripping. From that point on his focus was solely on the red circle. 3 months later, he finally leapt 2 jong, and barely touched the center of the red circle with his fist. But this wasn't enough. He needed more speed and power. Only when he broke through the rock would his training be complete. A year flew by like the blink of an eye. Meanwhile the escort agency was transporting goods to the Central Plains. This escort agency was founded by Wudang disciples who had mastered martial arts. However, they were ambushed midway. The attackers, filled with killing intent, were clearly no ordinary bandits. Their focus wasn't on the goods. It was on the heads of the escort team. The leader, using an eerie movement technique, hovered in mid-air. He pointed to a mysterious emblem on his arm. The flaming tattoo burned brightly. Do you recognize this? The crowd was shocked. It was the sacred flame symbol of the M sect. After 20 years, could the M sect be rising again? At the leader's command, countless M sect disciples charged forward. Despite the escort agency's desperate resistance, they were overwhelmed and no one survived. The Wudang escort agency was wiped from existence. At the same time Tan Hao had perfected his martial arts. He was like a new man. His crippled leg could leap 2 jong, and his fist could split gold and shatter stone. As his techniques refined, the killing intent around Tan Hao grew stronger. Now that the M sect had returned, Master Xian Su worried Tan Hao might become a killing machine. 10 years ago, when the M sect invaded the Central Plains, His family was slaughtered overnight. Now that he had perfected his skills, he vowed to annihilate the M sect to avenge them. News of the M sect's resurgence spread far and wide. The major sects gathered to discuss countermeasures. Among them Master Xian Su was well versed in the M sect's techniques. Wu Dang's Taoist Jingshu personally requested his help to save the people. Master Xian Su had only one condition. My disciple must join this mission. He then brought Taoist Jingshu to find Tan Hao. The gaze of Wu Dang disciple Lien Qianhe lingered on Tan Hao's crippled leg. She couldn't understand why a cripple would be taken to the battlefield. Isn't this just sending someone to their death? The master pulled her aside. What do you think of Tan Hao's martial arts? The master then pointed to a nearby boulder. Within the red circle was a deep dent. Looking at the footprints on the ground, it was clear the boulder was struck from 2 jong away. Even more astonishing were the footprints 3 jong away. Even a fully able-bodied person couldn't accomplish this. To achieve such feats requires daily practice. This is far more difficult than you can imagine. Time flew by and the day of departure arrived. However, the disciples refused to take Tan Hao along. This battle is fraught with danger. Protecting Uncle Master Xian Su is hard enough. Who has the strength to protect a cripple? Master Xian Su said nothing. He simply shouted, "Move out." Disciples marched down the mountain, radiating resolve, ready to face death. The first stop was Tan Hao's hometown, Mount Taibai. He felt restless. Master Xian Su, understanding his disciples' turmoil, said, "If you want to go, go now." With that, Tan Hao walked alone along the familiar yet foreign mountain paths. What was once a peaceful and simple village was now in ruins. In a trance, he seemed to see the figures of his parents. Overwhelmed by longing, he fell to his knees, crying out bitterly, "Father, Mother, how is back?" He still couldn't understand. Why would a poor village be slaughtered? Why was no one investigating the massacre? What hidden secrets lay beneath this tragedy? This blood debt would be repaid in blood. The next day the army marched toward Yujian Pass, the final gathering point for the battle against the M sect. At an inn, Master Xian Su made a decision. Tan Hao has grown strong enough. Mount Hua is vast, but it has no place for him. I was born a Mount Hua man and I will die here. But you are different. I want you to live freely. If we survive this battle, you don't need to return to Mount Hua. Pursue your dreams boldly. Before Tan Hao could argue, he added, "Mount Hua doesn't recognize you. But you will always be my best disciple. When you become unshakable, come back and share a drink with me." The next day scouts reported that the M sect's stronghold was in the Scarlet Wasteland. The army rushed to launch a surprise attack. The first battle against the M sect had begun. The forces entered the Scarlet Wasteland for a decisive assault. This battle would forever change Tan Hao's destiny. The wheel tracks on the ground pointed toward the M sect's stronghold. Everyone remained on high alert as they infiltrated silently. Senior brother Zanjiang addressed the second-generation disciples. "If you encounter the M sect, sacrifice your lives to protect Uncle Master. This terrain is treacherous. Ambushes are likely." Just as he finished, arrows whistled through the air. Several disciples fell unable to dodge in time. As the dust settled, a group of M sect disciples emerged. Their cold, indifferent eyes betrayed no emotion. It was clear they had been lying in wait for some time. The leader wasted no words. "Enjoy this feast of death." The M sect disciples charged forward. Their powerful aura and combat experience overwhelmed the disciples. Senior brother Zanjing stepped forward from the group. Having never killed before, he had only one thought: to slaughter every M sect disciple in sight. But the M sect disciples were like tireless soldiers, falling only to have more take their place. The Mount Hua sword technique was pushed to its peak in his hands. With every swing of his sword, another fell. Taoist Qingshu of Wudang stood unshaken amidst the chaos. His swordsmanship appeared simple and unadorned. Yet each strike hit a vital point. Dozens of M sect disciples couldn't approach him. Watching it all, Tan Hao clenched his fists tightly. If not for concern over his master's safety, he would have charged into the fray to vent his hatred. Suddenly a black-robed figure approached their group. The figure radiated a sharp, menacing aura. The second-generation disciples broke out in cold sweat. The figure's eyes were clear, devoid of any killing intent. For a moment Tan Hao couldn't discern if they were friend or foe. The disciples formed the 7-star sword formation in defense. Before they could react, the figure sprang forward. The speed was so great it tore through the air with a deafening sound. A sharp hand strike brushed against necks, and the ghostly figure weaved through the group. Wherever it passed, people fell. In mere seconds the Mount Hua disciples suffered heavy casualties. At that moment Tan Hao's stomp shook the earth. Like a beast unleashed, he burst forward. Charge step, piercing ram. With one punch he sent the figure flying several jong. The second-generation disciples were stunned. How is this possible? Tan Hao stood alone in the swirling sand like a lone wolf. The opponent was equally shocked. Someone my age with such profound power? Then they lunged forward again, their hands seemingly engulfed in flames. Master Xian Su immediately recognized it. It's the M-sect's dark flame hand. A flurry of shadowy strikes surged toward Tan Hao. For a moment he struggled to defend. His crippled leg rooted firmly like an ancient tree. He used only the beginner technique bamboo leaf hand to weave through the storm of punches. He managed to block every strike. But after several exchanges Tan Hao knew something was wrong. Bamboo leaf hand, being a foundational technique, was inadequate against the M-sect's deadly skill. As expected, the opponent found an opening. Sure enough, a dark flame hand strike hit Tan Hao in the abdomen. He heard the clear sound of his ribs cracking. Pain surged through him as if his organs were on fire. Seeing this, the disciples rushed forward to help. Tan Hao shouted, "Everyone fall back. I command you as a Mount Hua disciple. Protect my master and retreat immediately. Tan Hao, if I die here today, please forgive your disciple. The debt of your kindness in raising me, and your teachings, I will repay in the next life." With no burdens left, Tan Hao revealed a devilish smile. "Are you a Mount Hua disciple?" Tan Hao replied, "Disciple of Mount Hua under Master Xian Su." The opponent pulled off their mask, revealing the stunning face of a young woman. "You will be the first to die by my hand. What is your name?" Tan Hao took a deep breath. "My master named me Tan Hao. I am rootless, and I have no fear of death. If I survive, I swear to destroy the M-sect. Tan Hao, I am Yin Ru. I will remember you. To die under my sect's White Lotus Snow technique is an honor for you." Tan Hao understood the opponent's techniques were treacherous, but he had only one chance. He bent his knees, gathering strength. With a single step he unleashed the sky cripple kick, its power shaking the heavens and earth. Tan Hao's entire body skimmed the ground as he charged forward. Activating the heavy heart technique, he focused all his inner strength into his fist. Charge step, piercing ram. The opponent's hands moved like lightning, leaving countless afterimages. White Lotus Snowfall. Two ultimate techniques collided. In an instant, dust and debris filled the air. Tan Hao spat out a mouthful of blood. His body endured hundreds of strikes at once. It felt as if his internal organs were being torn apart. For the first time he felt death so close. The opponent wasn't unscathed either. The force of his punch pushed her back several jong. Her shoulder was injured, spewing a stream of blood. What a vicious punch. Just the wind from it caused me serious injury. If it had struck directly, my arm would have been crippled. But Tan Hao refused to fall. He forced himself up, swallowing the blood in his mouth. My revenge is unfinished. I cannot fall here. His gaze grew sharper. Yin Ru was stunned. What resolve he has. Tan Hao resembled a feral beast, his body radiating intense killing intent. At that moment, the entire valley rumbled loudly. Yin Ru sighed. It seems it has begun. Tan Hao pondered the meaning of her words. A long whip coiled around Yin Ru's slender waist. Someone atop the mountain pulled her up. Amid the chaotic battlefield, the M-sect gathered again. A sect member clasped his hands together and spoke aloud. "If there's no place for us in this world, then we'll perish together with you." With that, the M-sect disciples began to activate a secret technique. A wave of heat rippled, evaporating the air with a hiss. Taoist Qingshu urgently ordered a retreat. The disciples quickly used their lightfoot techniques to escape. But Tan Hao, born crippled, had never learned such techniques. Junior brother Yun Jing attempted to rescue him, but was stopped by senior brother Zan Jing. It's too late. Going back now would only increase the casualties. For the sake of the sect's future, we have no choice but to leave him. Tan Hao sat on the ground alone. It felt just like when he was buried in the ruins years ago. Once again only he remained. Crippled, he never wished to be a burden to anyone. At this moment he only hoped his master could retreat safely. The rumbling sounds echoed one after another. The entire valley collapsed, burying Tan Hao beneath it. When the dust settled, the valley was filled with rubble. However, Master Xian Su fell to his knees. "My poor disciple. No, this can't be. I refuse to believe you could die so easily. I will wait for you. I will wait for the day you return as a king." The man was trapped in an underground cavern for 12 years. He survived by eating moss growing on the walls. He tore it off, chewed it, swallowed it raw. The exit was blocked by massive rocks and sand. Every day he struck the rocks with his fists. He whipped his crippled leg against them 10,000 times, hoping one day to break through and see the light again. In the perpetual darkness he lost track of time. Perhaps it was 5 years or maybe 10. But he never gave up the will to live. This was the underground stronghold of the M-sect. It contained countless rare treasures and several basic M-sect techniques. To become stronger, Tan Hao embraced it all. He studied the beginner's shadow fist thousands of times. He merged the M-sect techniques with his own, creating an entirely new style unique to himself. As time passed, Tan Hao's strength grew daily. The once naive boy had transformed. He had become steady and composed. But his unyielding determination remained unchanged. Dragging his crippled left leg, he emerged from the chamber. A massive boulder blocked the exit. This was his only path out. The giant rock was covered in cracks. This was the result of his relentless efforts over the years. By now his crippled leg was no longer the same. The sky cripple kick fused with the M-sect's demon leg technique. Each kick now unleashed earth-shaking power. The rocks shattered bit by bit. The dark underground echoed with his heavy breaths. Then came his fists. He integrated Shadow Fist into the piercing ram. Each punch carried the force of a cannon blast. His original techniques, imbued with Master Xian Sus Mount Hua values, were now infused with the essence of the M-sect. Neither merciful nor righteous. He didn't know how long he had fought. The wall in front of him crumbled with a deafening crash. But instead of the long-awaited light, a piercing sound rang in his ears. What greeted him was a swarm of flying ants. Tan Hao swung heavy punches to drive them away. But it had little effect on the ants. The gusts from his punches scattered them briefly, only for them to regroup and attack again. They relentlessly bit into Tan Hao. To make matters worse, these ants were venomous. Tan Hao's eyes reddened as pain and numbness engulfed his body. Even with his extraordinary endurance, the agony felt worse than death. He fell to his knees wailing in pain, desperately enduring the excruciating torment. Eventually he managed to expel the venom. Tan Hao named these creatures the Hellfire Blood Ants. To him they seemed like they had crawled out of hell. The blood ants became the greatest obstacle to his escape, no matter how skilled he was. It was impossible to kill so many ants at once. For now he focused on devising a strategy to counter them. He launched dozens of attempts to fight the blood ants, but each time he retreated covered in bites and welts. To escape the unbearable itching and pain, he banged his head against rocks dozens of times. Gradually his combat approach began to change. He transitioned from fists to palms, and his inner strength became more refined. He developed a subtle inner energy akin to cotton palm. As his energy flowed continuously, a vacuum sphere began to form between his palms. Air surged like a tsunami toward the sphere, sweeping countless blood ants into its vortex. Eventually they condensed into a massive ant sphere.